A controversial decision at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as Spurs lose 2-1 at home against Newcastle. Ange Postecoglou is extremely angry. He has actually stated it is the angriest he has ever been in his career. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all keeping well. This is another edition of Spurs in the Media, where I began through all of today's newspapers, looking at all of the articles and the player ratings from the game Tottenham Hotspur 1, Newcastle 2. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. Now let's start with a report from today's Mail on Sunday, and the main heading states, Toon's deadly duo pile pain on 6 Spurs. Newcastle's revival rolls on, gathering momentum with a 6th successive victory, slipping into the new year as they exited the old one, looking strong at the back, slick on the break, and Alexander Isak among the goals. It then states here, Eddie Howe can take satisfaction from the first win of the season in London, achieved in the presence of England head coach Thomas Tuchel, sitting in the VIP seats at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham was Tuchel's favourite team when he fell under the spell of English football as a boy in Germany. He liked the name, apparently, but all Spurs fans continue to suffer. The Daily Mail have also stated for them, a new year has brought more of the same old problems, only worse. On top of the crisis of injuries, Ange Postecoglou was missing players who had fallen to a sickness bug in the camp. Fraser Forster was bedridden, leaving Brandon Austin to make his debut in goal. Radu Dragushin could not make it out for the second half, leaving Spurs without a recognised centre-half on the pitch. Archie Gray played 90 minutes despite suffering illness all week and was partnered at the heart of defence by Jed Spence for the second half. The Mail on Sunday have also stated Dominic Solanke scored the first goal of the game, escaping Sven Botman and diving to head in a cross from Pedro Porro in the 4th minute. The lead, though, did not last long. Brandon Austin impressed with his aerial presence, but he was picking the ball out of the net within 2 minutes of the opener, a controversial goal finished by Anthony Gordon. The report then goes on to say that Lucas Bergvall had a pass cut out of defence intercepted by Joe Linton. Postecoglou was fuming on the touchline and his assistant Matt Wells took the complaints to the 4th official Lewis Smith. They were aggrieved because Bergvall's pass had been intended for Porro, and when it was cut out, the right back was stranded, which left Anthony Gordon in yards of space. For Newcastle's second goal, Jacob Murphy crossed low from the right. Radu Dragushin lunged to cut it out, but turned it towards his own goal, and Alexander Isak pounced to sweep it into an empty net. Now, more from the Mail on Sunday today. It says here, Ange Postecoglou's blast over handball call. I have never been angrier. Now, the player ratings today from the Mail on Sunday. Brandon Austin, of course, making his competitive debut for Spurs. Only a 6.5 out of 10 for him. Pedro Porro, a 5.5. Radu Dragushin, a 4.5. They have given Reguilon a 6.5. Gray, a 5.5. Spence, a 5.5. Sarr, a 5. They have given Basuma a 6.5, Bergvall a 7. They have given Maddison a 6.5. They have given Brennan Johnson a 6. Dejan Kulusevski a 6. They have given Timo Werner a 4.5. They have given sub Son a 6 and Dominic Solanke a 6.5. Now for a report from The People, and on the front of their Total Football supplement it says here, Toon boom, Newcastle on the rise as pressure mounts on Big Ange. They have then published a double-page spread in The People, and it says here, working 9 to thrive, red-hot striker leaves Postecoglou in an Isak haze. In this report from the People, it says Brandon Austin made his league debut after 9 years at the club with Fraser Forster ill and Vicario out until March. And after starting Heung-min Son on the bench, Spurs played the second half without a recognised centre-back. It was a new year for Spurs, but the same old problems. Spurs have now won only one Premier League match in 8 since their win at the Etihad against Manchester City. The People have also stated here, reffing hell for angry Ange. Furious Ange Postecoglou has never been angrier in his managerial career after blaming Tottenham's latest defeat on Newcastle's controversial equaliser. It says here, Newcastle have a fine recent record against Tottenham, winning 4 of their last 5 games, including convincing 6-1 and 4-0 home victories. Now, the match stats from the game, the People have published the following. Possession, 57% Tottenham, 43% Newcastle. Shots on target, 4 apiece. Shots off target, Spurs 6, Newcastle 3. Expected goals, Tottenham 0.85 to Newcastle's 1.08. Corners, Spurs 9, Newcastle 10. Fouls, Spurs 11, Newcastle 15. Offside, Spurs 2, Newcastle 1. Passing success, Spurs 81% to Newcastle's 79%. Tackles, Spurs 46, Newcastle 27. Tackles, 1 in percentage terms, Spurs 77% to Newcastle's 59%. The match ratings, Austin, they have given 6 out of 10. Poro a 7, Dragushin a 4, Gray a 6, Spence a 5, Bergvall a 7, Sarr a 5, Johnson a 5, Kulusevski a 5, Timo Werner a 4 out of 10, Solanke a 6, subs, Reguilon a 6, Maddison a 7, Basuma and Son both with 6s. Now a report from the Sun newspaper, and on the front of their sports supplement it says here, Isak a cracker, 7 in a row, but he owes it all to Jacob. Eddie Howe watched Alexander Isak reach 7th heaven, then praised Jacob Murphy for being the super Swedes supplier. There's also a double-page spread published by the Sun newspaper today on the game, and it says here, Slap and Tuchel, England boss sees Howe's Magpies punish depleted Spurs. And it says here, since the start of the 2023-2024 season, Dominic Solanke has scored more goals in the opening 5 minutes of Premier League games than any other player, and that is 4. Fastest goal, Dominic Solanke after just 3 minutes, 22 seconds. And it says here, the attendance was 61,293, match time 106 minutes, 47 seconds, and the ball was in play for just 51 minutes, 26 seconds. Now for a report from the Sunday Times, and it says here, Spurs valiant, but Ange gets angry. It says here, gaming 60 seconds, the star man Alexander Isak played like the best number 9 in the country. Day to forget, Radu Dragushin, it says here, started despite illness, but subbed at half-time. Key moment, Joe Linton's handball, which led to Newcastle's equaliser. What the managers said, Ange Postecoglou said, Radu and Archie literally got off sick beds to play today, and Radu was shattered at half-time. And Eddie Howe said, it definitely hit Joe Linton's arm. I can give you that as well, but I am not in control of the referee's decision. Now, a fascinating stat has been published here by the Sunday Times. 101 Premier League games for Spurs without a 0-0 draw. Only Manchester United, with 114 between 1999 and 2002, have had a longer run. Now, the player ratings from the Sunday Times today: Brandon Austin, a 7 out of 10. Pedro Porro, a 7. Dragushin, a 5. Archie Gray, a 6. Spence, a 6. Bergvall and Sarr, both with 7s. Johnson, a 6. Kulusevski, a 7. Timo Werner, a 6. And Dominic Solanke, a 6. Now for a report from the Sunday Telegraph, and it says here, Postecoglou angriest I have ever been. Tottenham Hotspur head coach Ange Postecoglou described himself as being angrier than at any other point of his career following what he believed was an unfair 10th Premier League defeat of the season. And finally, let's hear from both managers, Ange Postecoglou and Eddie Howe. This is what they thought of the game. Tottenham 1, Newcastle 2.
Jeremy, do you want to start us off? Good afternoon, Ange. Is today one of those days when, in spite of the result, you can be proud of the performance given circumstances?
Hugely proud. I'm shattered that the boys didn't get the rewards they deserved because we were outstanding. Our football was outstanding against a very good opponent. He was in good form and in a good place. Thought was brilliant, outstanding, and it's a game we deserve to win. And on any other day, we would have won.
Can I ask your opinion of their first goal?
No, because I know what everyone wants me to say, but all I'll say is that on any other day, on a fair and even playing ground, we would have won that game. Simple as that. And don't keep asking me about the decision. If you guys have no opinion about it, that's fine. I know what my opinion is, and as I said, if that was a different day and it was an even and fair playing ground, we would have won that game. Yeah, it was great. Everyone was great. Unbelievable. I mean, if we consider what we had to put up, I mean, Radu and Archie literally got off sick beds to play today, and Radu was shattered at half time. Brandon, we just obviously only found out yesterday he was playing. I can't be prouder of the players, and I'm just angry and disappointed that it wasn't football that denied them getting the rewards today.
Can you talk us through a little bit about what you've been through in terms of the illness? Because I understand why you're resting.
Just a bug. Radu and Archie were bedridden all week. Fraser, obviously, but he's still bedridden. He's still really struggling with it. There's other couple, but like I said, Radu was just spent at half time. He just didn't have any more to give. So, like I said, Thursday we literally had, I think, 11 fit players for training. So, but I don't care about that. What I care about is that the players put in an unbelievable performance, fantastic football, created chances, denied them, had to defend strongly, which we did, and it's unfair on them more than anything else that they don't get the rewards they deserve today.
And in the circumstances, what was your thinking behind leaving three of your senior players in Susan and that's on the bench?
Just a combination of, I thought we were going to need some energy, some running power early on, and I thought as the game wore on, we'd be able to sort of then use the experience of the guys who came on, and I thought it worked well. I mean, I thought we were finished really strong. And like I said, we started the game really well, and the only thing that kind of stopped us in our tracks was not football. So, that was the whole idea about it. And I think it's important that, guys like Sonny and Biss and Mattis to let us to an extent, but they played a lot of football, and I think having them fresh helps them mentally as much as physically, and I thought all three when they came on made a real difference for us.
Angriest, it's not your concern right now. England manager being here, but Dominic's performance today really seemed to be
Brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. I think the whole team was, considering everything we had to go through and the situation we're in right now, to put on a performance like that, I take my hat off to the players. I thought they were outstanding, and I'm just really, really angry as I've ever been, I think, in my career, that they were denied the right rewards for a fantastic performance.
Does that performance give you real confidence that things will stop?
I have never lacked confidence, Tom. I get that the results aren't there, and I get whether people want to accept the situation we're in or the circumstances, but I'm just so. I mean, you saw the performance of Archie. You saw Lucas today. It was unbelievable as an 18-year-old to play in that position. I just see so much to be positive about, but we need to win games of football, and usually, when you play well and you do most things right, you do get the rewards. Unfortunately, we were denied today.
And when you say you're angry that the Spurs were denied the result they deserved, just to clarify, is that the officiating was denied in the result?
You can clarify. I know you just want me to say something, but I'm not going to. I think it's clear. Now, whether people agree with me or not, you think it wasn't handball or it was accidental or whatever, I'm just not interested in any of that discussion. What I'm saying is that on any given day, with a fair and even playing field and logical thought processes, we would have won that game. That's it. So you can make what you want of that. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Scott, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I mean, you must be absolutely delighted with the weekend. Man United obviously a massive win, and then it's do that here and 6 points in 2 games?
Yeah, it's been a massive 2 games for us because our away form has been a bit patchy for a period of time, and only winning can give you the confidence that you can win at any ground and in any situation. And to go 1-0 down here, I've been here many times and I've seen games slip away very quickly from that position, but I think there was a calmness about us in response to that, a mature response, and we scored pretty soon afterwards. And then I don't think we ever looked back in that first half. That was a really strong first half display from us.
You obviously made the decision to bring Sven in from the start. What was the thinking behind that, and how pleased were you with his performance?
Well, the thinking behind it, he's done the work. I wouldn't play him if I didn't feel he was physically ready. He's been very dedicated to his recovery. We've seen him put an extraordinary amount of work before he started training with us, and he's been training with us now for 6 weeks, I think. He's had 3 games. He's looked good in those games. Of course, he won't be at his optimum level, but that will come in the following months. But I thought he was ready and physically ready to play and mentally ready to play. He's chomping at the bit to be involved again, and difficult start for him and the team because Tottenham scored, but a great response. I thought he did very well today.
And I mean, there was a lot of. It seemed like there was a lot of tired players come off the pitch. They put an awful lot in. They put an awful lot in right the way through the Christmas period. Is there any worry that with a big game coming up on Tuesday night, there's a lot of a relatively small group of players have gone to well a lot for you in the last 2-3 weeks?
Yeah, that of course that's something I'm very aware of. I think we went through a spell where we were very inconsistent with our performances and results. So I made a conscious decision to try and be consistent with my team selection to give the best chance to get consistent results. And we've started to win games, so I've been very reluctant to change things and unbalance what's been working for us. And sometimes even within the game that's been evident that I haven't wanted to change the dynamic too much, and I feel like I absolutely have to. So we need to assess how the players feel. We certainly need energetic players for Arsenal. It's going to be a physical game. It's a very quick turnaround. So, but it's the same for Arsenal. If anything, they've had a harder schedule the last few days. So let's see how we feel.
Thanks, Scott. Go to Lee Ryder and then Jordan Cronin.
How did you feel the team are becoming a bit more streetwise on days like this?
I think we showed qualities of that today. I know a lot was made of that, probably much to my frustration in the Champions League season, because I think that comes as a consequence of winning games, and people jump to conclusions about how we're preparing. I think you saw today that the players' experiences. We've got players that have played in a lot of big games, managing situations very well. I thought we defended in the main very well today. I thought they had one spell of chances, but other than that, relatively quiet for us. I thought, we did manage the game in the end very well. All the injuries we had were genuine in the game. A lot of players coming off. So it was, as the question there, it was a very physical game today.
And the character come from behind so early in the game and want to get 3 points?
Yeah, I think that's the most pleasing thing from today, is how we reacted in that moment. Scoring so quickly after they scored, and then having the maturity and quality in our play to dominate that first half in the way that we did. Really good signs for the future, I think.
The Tottenham manager's just been in and said that that's the most angry he's ever been in his career about the equaliser. How did you see it?
Well, I can't sit here and lie and say I haven't seen it, because I have. It definitely hit Joelinton's arm. I can give you that as well. But I'm not in control of the referee's decision. I believe that his arm's down in a natural position, and I think the referee and the VAR have followed the rules and protocols that are in place, so that's why it's given.
Okay, go to Jordan, Dom, and then across to George.
Yeah, just following that up, Ange said that Tottenham deserved to win and more that it was a fair and even playing field. I don't know if that's because of the injuries, illness, all the equaliser. Do you agree with that statement?
I've just got to concentrate on us and Newcastle, and I'm just very proud of the effort that the players have put in, the games that we've won. I thought we were dominant in the first half today. I thought it was could and possibly should have been more in that first half period. Yes, Tottenham played well in the second half, and they brought on some quality players and pushed us back at times, but we did enough to get over the line.
A lot was made about the way record last season. It wasn't where you probably would like to be, but obviously 2 wins on a row this week. difference there? Why is that?
I don't know. We try to approach every game in the same way, and I've said this many times. We don't have a plan for St James's Park and then a different plan for an away game. It's, of course, every game's different, and we do tweak for who we're playing and what we need to do. But you have to at this level. If you don't, I think you're going to get caught out with different systems and different shapes. But the mentality is definitely the same. I think you've seen that in the last few games. I just think we're in a period where we're playing very well and winning games.
Dominic?
Touched on before, the injuries you suffered in the second half were genuine. Just Sven Botman at the end linked up there. How was he doing?
Yeah, I think just nothing more than cramp for Sven, which is expected with the length of time that he's been out. I think he's a great effort from him to last that long. We were unsure how long he would be able to go for with the speed of the Premier League, but thankfully he got through the majority of the game.
Anthony Gordon obviously took a nasty knock to his nose. How was he?
Yeah, I think that's just a cut, but it was a nasty cut. He had blood all over him, so did well to get back onto the pitch. But yeah, nothing more than that, I don't think.
Thanks, Tom. George?
Hi, George.
You talked earlier there about the sort of consistency of selection and having players who know each other on the pitch. How important is it in a game like that, which does start off in a kind of chaotic manner? Spurs have obviously got lots of kind of problems and injury problems. How important is that to kind of get through a game like that?
Yeah, I think horses for courses. I don't think there's one way of doing it, but I just think at the moment the balance of the team has been really solid. Midfield looked really good again, especially in the first half today. I thought the midfield three, once we got to grips of the early stages of the game, began to dominate that key area of the pitch. And then I think there was good partnerships in the team, even Dan and Sven, although they haven't played together. I think they built up a good partnership there. Physically, they did very well, I thought, against Solanke, who's a very good player. And the partnerships in the team, defensive mentality was very strong today.
Finding different ways to win.
Yeah, and that's a pleasing thing because you have to. It's never a perfect game. You're never going to have everything your own way. We certainly didn't today, but we found a way to come back and get a magnificent win from our perspective. So long may that continue.
Okay, we'll take three more. We'll go Tom, Craig and Martin.
Hi.
Tom Stuckey was watching today. We've got a lot of exciting young England players in the team. I just wanted to ask about one who I think most people would be surprised if he managed to get into England for a situation at this point in his career. But Jacob Murphy feels like he's a really unsung hero and he's contributed a lot. And the sort of partnership he's having with Isak is really impressive. How key has he been in this run?
Yeah, he's been very, very important and probably more than people may realise because we ask a lot of Jacob in lots of different ways. Plays an important role, of course. Everyone plays an important role in our pressing. With the ball, he's been brilliant. I mean, the assists and the goals that he's got in the last few weeks is Alex probably owes Jacob majority of his goals with his crossing ability, which has always been very strong. But also defensively, we use him in a variety of ways. He's very versatile player. With Jacob, he's very team orientated as well, and he doesn't get the credit perhaps that he deserves. So it's nice to see that he's getting the assist that's bringing his performances to everyone's attention.
Thanks, Tom. Craig?
We first spoke to you about January 5 or 6 weeks ago, and obviously there was the caveat there that you might not be able to do anything. When we first spoke to you about it, it was from a position of weakness almost. The team needed help. 6-7 games later, it's a position of strength. What's your mindset? Do you strengthen from a position of strength, or do you say actually it's not broken, don't try to fix it right now?
I think you always go into every window, and this is my method, is you try to improve the squad if you can. That has to be your view, otherwise you're going to stand still and regress. But these days it's changed, Craig, as you know, because it's what you can do rather than your want. So we're still in the same position where we're looking at it and going, are we able to do anything? If we're not, we'll go with what we've got. And I always say the players at the club are the most important people. Players are playing well at the moment. Our squad is very thin, really. You look today, that everyone that was fit and available was here with us. So, we're not blessed with a huge array of players, but we have some very, very good ones.
Just quickly go back to the game at the second half. Was that second half different to what you had down at Man United on Monday? Man United, there was an element of control to it. Was a different second half?
Yeah, I don't think we were totally comfortable in the second half. It wasn't what we wanted it to be. But in saying that, you're never going to have the game as you want it to be for 90 minutes. But can you still be effective when the game's not going in the way that you want it to go? I thought we were very big counter threat in the game all the way through. I don't think that diminished in the second half. I think that was still there, but we didn't have the control with the ball that we had in the first half. That was Tottenham's domain really, and a bit of a frustration for us and something we look at.
Thanks, Craig. Martin to finish.
There's been big moments on the pitch between yourselves and Tottenham and Aston Villa a couple of weeks ago, and excitable moments between the dugouts as well. Are these now two of your biggest rivals in terms of the clubs that want to emerge and kick on? And if they are, is that why it's so important to beat?
Yeah, I think there's only respectful rivalries. I don't see that there's no issue. There's just two benches full of people that are desperate to win. So I've got no issue with that. I think we're aware that there's teams in and around us that I wouldn't say consider rivals, but we know how important it is to try and win those games. Got full respect for Tottenham and for Ange and the way that he plays. I think they're a very, very difficult team to play against. Got some very good players, and that's why the win's all the more satisfying for us.
The end there with, suppose, the contrast to Brentford away, which was only a matter of weeks ago. Is that why you stood there a little bit longer?
I wasn't aware it was longer, but I think Brentford was very difficult, and sometimes when you don't play well, those moments are very, very tough to do, because for me, consistency is so important. Whether we win, lose or draw, I always say we will go over and thank our supporters for coming, but it is a lot harder to do in negative moments. But what I do remember going to the Brentford crowd was how good they were with us again. They had every right to probably not be. The majority were absolutely superb with the players. And that's why it's so pleasing that today we're able to reward them with a big 3 points.
And last one on Tino, Livramento and Lewis Hall, who've again done very well in a big game, obviously today in front of the New England manager.
Yeah, I'm sure that they were aware of that Thomas was here. Thomas will be well aware of their qualities from not just watching today, but from previous games. All they've got to do is carry on playing as well as they have done this season. I think both players were very good today.
Thanks, everyone. Safe travels. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do the follow button and leave a review if you can. Try to enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you on the next one. Come on, you Spurs.